The chair recognizes the honourable member for Central and South Abaco.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm again humbly honored to rise to speak on behalf of my people, my fellow Abaconians in Central and South Abaco, on this Public Procurement Bill 2022, Public Finance Bill 2023. But of course, you know, I got to speak to my Abaconians first. I'd like to personally thank the Prime Minister and the good member from Cat Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador for coming down to Abaco on Friday and Saturday to see firsthand our challenges. It shows by action his dedication to the Family Islands and Abaco. Madam Speaker, the people were encouraged to see him there. I was encouraged to see him there. And we know that Abaconians and Family Islanders are being seen and highlighted. I'd like to thank my staff and team, been with me straight through, and we're moving forward. We're getting things done. But more importantly, you know, my wife and my two young children, my daughter and my son, they, you know, it's a lot of strain on the family in doing the work for the Commonwealth of Bahamas and my fellow Bahamians. But when I started on a mission to do something for my community, for the constituency, and for the greater country, it was my wife who said, stop complaining and go do something about it. Madam Speaker, that's what this Davis Cooper administration is doing something about it. We are moving forward in a real way. The Bahamas for Bahamians. It is a uphill battle. When we came into office, it was like grabbing a cart going downhill out of control. First, you got to get it under control before you can steer it. But Madam Speaker, I want to say, revenues are on the rise. Tourism is on the rise. Nassau doesn't have enough hotel rooms. That's a good problem, man. We can keep bringing them. So I want the entrepreneurs and the Bahamians across this country to step forward and start your dream. Build your little hotel and start growing. We need more rooms. We need more attractions. We need more things for our friends from abroad to come here and enjoy and spend a little money. Recently, Madam Speaker, I had the opportunity and the privilege to speak with Nettie Simonet. And she is a Bahamian entrepreneur that started great things in South Abaco and then moved to Nassau and did some good things here. And it shows that Bahamians are the best entrepreneurs. Given the chance, we can take this country to the next level. I encourage, again, step forward, fellow Bahamians, and build out this tourism product and have it Bahamian owned, Bahamian run, and operated. So it's important to say tourism's on the rise. Airports are full. Rooms are full. We need more. And that's what we're doing, because we have a plan to stretch tourism across this nation, from down south, all the way up north, from east to west. The good gentleman from Central Grand Bahama was talking about Airbnbs, VRBOs, and all these other things. Well, it's just a registration. There's an exemption for those small guys. But what he's missing out is the hundreds and thousands and thousands of Airbnbs, VRBOs, short-term vacation rentals spread throughout the Family Islands, Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and so on and so forth, that are foreign-owned and not paying tax or VAT or anything to conduct business or making profits in our country without contributing to our country. So as he's speaking about Airbnbs and VRBOs, I want him to recognize there is an exemptions for that entrepreneur, that Bahamian trying to to venture out. But we cannot step back and step aside while foreigners come make real money and not pay their share. So my good friend from Central Grand Bahama, I'd like you to take note that different parts of this country have different economies, and we must have a balance of government revenues from these areas. But we're here today, Madam Speaker, we're here today to speak on these bills. We're here today to speak on these bills. So it's important that it's noted that this Procurement Act, this public procurement bill, is another factor in elevating and giving economic empowerment to Bahamians. As it was noted, youth businesses, businesses owned by women, family island businesses will be able to take part more competitively in these procurement areas. And then when it says competitive supply, but there's also value of money. Value of money is real. You know, I'm new to the national level, and when I see some of these contracts that had gone out previously and the enormous amount of money spent, sometimes without a rhyme or reason, we speak about value of money. Well, this bill has sections that speak to that. Section 29, electronic reverse auctioning. This is something that will give a competitive auction to the bidders at hand for these procurements to bring down the price so we get the best quality and the best price, and we're not just going with the first one out the gate. It's important. It's the people's money. We need to do more with the people's money. We can't just go out and spend top dollar for items that we can get a competitive and value for money bid. 21E, reasonably determining use market-based pricing. Again, not overpaying, getting more for our money, more for the people's money. This Procurement Act speaks on that. There's sections on that, and it's something that I like to see. You know, for far too long, in the past I've seen, you know, paying top dollar, but now we have a competitive advantage. Electronic reverse auctioning will bring them to the table so they can bid to bring us the lowest price for the best quality goods for our government agencies and departments. Madam Speaker, increased competition. It's key. Increased competition is a big thing. This bill promotes by leveling the playing field. Family island companies will be able to be more competitive because we'll be able to put in that their cost of doing business may be a bit more. So instead of saying everything's Nassau-centric or Central Bahama-centric, you know, let's let family island businesses take care of family islands. Let's grow the other parts of our country. And that's how you grow a country in a whole. There's opportunities across this nation. And we want to make sure that every island and people across this nation are being felt and are having that economic empowerment that is at the forefront of this administration. This bill will benefit more Bahamians. I want to speak on micro businesses. That's your mom and pop businesses. Well, let me tell you how to grow an economy and grow a nation. Those mom and pop businesses, those micro businesses will turn into small businesses. And then they'll have a few employees. The right opportunity, the right drive, and a little hard work, those small businesses will turn into medium-sized enterprises, and that is growing an economy, and that is empowering the Bahamian people to go from mom and pop up to medium-sized and employing more Bahamians and growing our country within. That's important, Madam Speaker, very important. And I would be remiss not to repeat myself and say, women-owned, youth-owned businesses will be highlighted, and they will be given opportunities to grow in this country. Must have a level playing field. As I speak to my daughter, I tell her, she's 10 years old, and I tell her there is nothing that you cannot do in this country or this world. There is no opportunity that a man can do that you cannot do. So dream big, take advantage, and grow this country on the backs of all. Transparency. You know, this word's thrown back and forth a lot. You know, I lived, you know, firsthand and seeing firsthand the lack of transparency. But within this bill, it gives the opportunity for all parties to register electronically, which will give greater access to those parties that are interested in bidding. But not only that, there's a piece of a KYC in there, know your client. So we want to know who the beneficial owners of these bidders are, so we don't have one group of people, the upper echelon, that 1%, taking all the contracts from all the people and not spreading the wealth around. We need to make sure that all Bahamians nationwide are given the chance to bid and grow their companies, their manufacturers, their importers, their wholesalers, whatever you may do, but make sure they're given the chance to grow. Far too long has one little group by the name of different companies been able to gather up all the bids one time. No. We're going to spread it to every Bahamian across this nation, geographically, gender-wise, and age. We want our youth growing up to know that there is a purpose and there is a path to prosperity in their own country. Speaking of crime, I think a lot of our problems are that we don't show the youth that path. We don't encourage them and tell them that there is a way forward, so they feel left out. A lot of them feel abandoned, and then they go down the wrong path. We must empower our youth and Bahamians of all. You know, when they speak about managing the people's money, you know, I must bring something to attention that has been it's a vexing issue in Abaco right now. The previous administration, under the DRA, tried to put in a hurricane shelter in Central Pines, my good colleague's constituency. Well, they spent almost $1 million. Foundation not even complete. So this government was thinking, yes, we can use that foundation, let's move forward and let's get this done, hurricane season approaching. But when the contractors went there, almost $1 million on a foundation not complete, foundation is unable to use. It was built improperly, the ground is not good, and if they were to consult people on the ground and Abaconians, they could have pushed it back a little bit on solid rock and you don't have this problem. $1 million down the drain. This is one example. It's one example. So when I hear transparency and using the people's money, I know firsthand. I seen the lack thereof, the lack of consultation. When they talk about consultation, you know, I just think of things in Abaco, and because that's what I know firsthand. The debris site across from Spring City, but $1 million spent on a foundation we cannot use. It's one example, one small example, but $1 million that our people's money that could be put to good use. This finance bill, you know, to me, the consolidation and the repeal of the Public Finance Management Act of 21, the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2018, the Fiscal Administration and Audit Act of 2010, sections 36 to 44, it reminds me of efficiency. You got all these different things when you could bring it into one concise bill that speaks to the same thing and speaks better to it, improved it, updated it. Efficiency. Efficiency equals savings. Saving the people's money for doing more things across this nation. You know, there's a lot in this bill, and I know there's some really good, more financially in tune people than I am that are going to be speaking after this. But there's, you know, there's piece into the governments of local government and yearly and mid-year budget planning, and another thing of a pre-election update, which I think is great. You know, we got to know where we stand. The people need to know where we stand. We're going into an election. We can't come here and then find out, wow, we're at $1 billion of outstanding bills and all kinds of other things. You know, we got to be more responsible. We got to start treating the people's money as our own and be responsible in not only getting value for procurements, but spending it properly and responsibly. Transparency. But reaching out to my family island people, reaching out to my fellow Abaconians, as you'll see in this Public Finance Management Bill of 2023, Section 52 about the Consolidated Fund, Section 4. I just want to read this. It's very important. Revenues derived from real property tax collected under Real Property Tax Act in respect of property located in family islands. All taxes and fees collected on a family island under the Road Traffic Act shall be utilized to defray expenses and fund expenditures for the family islands. In simplest terms, property tax collected and road and traffic tax collected will be used in the family islands where it's collected. And then it goes on to say no less than 10% in 22, no less than 17% in 23, and not less than 25% in 24. So it's a staged approach. But see, Madam Speaker, this is revolutionary. This is moving forward. This is giving the family islands the tools needed to grow this country. Yes. These bills are giving the Bahamian people the tools needed to grow. Grow is what we're doing, and we want the economic empowerment to be spread across this nation to all people. So, Madam Speaker, Central and South Abaco support the Public Procurement Bill 2022 and Public Finance Bill 2023. God bless my fellow Bahamians, and God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
We'll secure the next spot, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.